Hello everyone. I am jumping back in here to redo my introduction to the Continental Johnny Cake. I know this video is posting a little bit later than normal. My work schedule was kind of crazy over the past week or so, and then when I went to um, put my video all together and get it ready to post, I realized I had some pretty major sound issues with the introduction that I had filmed. So I opted to redo this just to get a better video out there for you guys. So here we are. This video will be the Continental Johnny Cake from Baking Yesteryear. It is one of our final recipes from the 1920s chapter. It's kind of like a sweeter honey cornbread and everything that I was really looking forward to making with you guys. At the time that I made it, I had not made this before or anything like that. And I'm really curious to try it. It is different than my regular go-to cornbread, which I have done a video on. I will try to remember to link that video in the description box below so you guys can check that out as well. And everything. I tend to have like my favorite recipes or my go-to recipes for certain things. The cornbread being one of them, and mac and cheese being another. I have a really good go-to chicken pot pie recipe that I make, but I am always curious to try other recipes and everything and kind of compare it to that. In the end, I usually end up going back to my go-to recipe, which I guess is why they are my go-to recipes and everything. So um, yeah, I was really looking forward to comparing that with my regular cornbread recipe, which I will go over in my final thoughts at the end of this video. Um, I know this is a little bit different of an introduction just because I am refilming it and everything like that. Um, so I'm just going to be quiet now and let's jump into making the Continental Johnny Cake. So I don't know what happened, but I lost my ingredients video. Here is what we will be using. All right, well, I've got the milk heating up. I am going to whisk together the sugar and the egg here. I say this is a different cornbread recipe, really different than my regular cornbread recipe. It does use more ingredients, but if this does turn out good, it will be worth it. Um, all right, so I think I've got that all whisked together pretty good. Once my milk is warmed and kind of cool, we are going to add that to our egg and sugar mixture. All right, so I've added the honey, the oil, and the milk to the egg and sugar mixture. And we're just going to get that all mixed up together. All right, that looks really good. All right, so I am going to get my dry ingredients mixed together and I will be back. All right, so I got my dry ingredients all mixed together. We are going to combine our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients together. Once I have that done, I will show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so that is all mixed up and it is ready to go in our pan as soon as the oven is done preheating. I will get that butter melted in the pan and then we will pour this in. Um, it is a lot thinner than what I'm used to for cornbread batter, but it does smell really good. You can really smell the honey in it. So once I have this in the pan, I will be back. All right, so I've got the skillet preheated. I've melted the butter in it. I've got the batter in it. Let's get this in the oven and get this cooking. All right, so I have the Continental Johnny Cake out of the oven. I'm gonna let this cool a little bit. I'm going to give it a try, and then I will be back with my final thoughts. All right, so I am back with my final thoughts on the Continental Johnny Cake. I thought it turned out really good. Um, I do kind of tend to still kind of tend to prefer my other cornbread recipe over this one. I just kind of prefer regular cornbread over like a honey cornbread. But this was good. If I do want a good honey cornbread, this would be the one I would make. I do recommend making it um, if you really enjoy honey cornbread. Um, it did turn out really good. I did have to bake it a little bit longer than what it said, but that's no big deal. It was pretty simple to make up. And everything, and just overall was a pretty good cornbread. Like I said, the only thing for me is just a personal preference of the regular cornbread versus like the honey cornbread. But other than that, it was good. So yeah, definitely give this a try. If you have this cookbook, let me know if you've made it before, or if you've made another version of the Continental Johnny Cake. Um, Next week we will be finishing up the 1920s chapter with the Anadama bread, which is um, kind of like a wheat bread. It sounds really interesting, but we'll get into that next week. And then we will be moving on to a little mini chapter that he's got in there, full of date recipes, which I'm really looking forward to getting into. Um, until next week, please make sure you're subscribed. Please like this video if you've liked it. Um, please share this video. And until next week, good times, good food. Bye.